What's going on, people? So today I'm gonna have a little bit of a rant. Now, who doesn't like to have a rant now and again, especially us guys here in the UK? But you might still find some value out of this video, which I hope you do. Otherwise, I'm just gonna let off some steam. Now, what am I gonna rant about? Well, as the name and title of this video suggests, it's about Dan Pena and how he has failed. Now, this comes with a caveat, a disclaimer. I am by no means calling Dan Pena a failure, because it would be quite silly to call somebody who has achieved what he has achieved a failure. And yeah, I don't think you can call him a failure considering what he's done. But having said that, he has failed at something. And what that thing is, I'm about to tell you. But before I do that, I'm just going to give you some background information to give you a little bit of context. And if you don't know who Dan Pena is now, the best thing you can do is just go on YouTube and find out for yourself, because I would not be able to do any justice. This guy is a force in and of himself. But yeah, if you YouTube the guy, you might get a bit of a shock if it's the first time you're coming across him. He doesn't hold anything back. He's quite aggressive. Isn't bothered about being politically correct, which means there's a lot of swearing, a lot of cursing, and all of that. But the guy is was a businessman. I suppose he still is a businessman, an incredibly successful businessman, major oil deals, massive company, made millions, possibly billions, and now is possibly making, possibly has created trillions by helping other people make money. But the guy has his own seminar, which is the QLA seminar, which he hosts in his castle up in Scotland, where he teaches people how to buy businesses. But it's more than that. It's a personal development seminar, helping people to come out of their shell, to be more courageous and just get things done, because by his own words, he thinks the world is soft, full of snowflakes, and as he recently said, he thinks that we've got no hope on this planet. We've lost, and we're just on a downward spiral towards extinction, and there's no hope and no saving the planet. So yeah, that's Dan Pena. Now, I went to an event over the weekend. It was the London Real Seminar, where Dan was the main attraction. He was for me, and judging by the reaction of the crowd when his name was announced, I think he was the main attraction for most of the people there. There were other guests, but Dan came on. He was the third speaker, and the other two guests before him gave nice little presentations, and it was all nice and mature. But when Dan came on, he did what Dan does: got up, started swearing, started shouting, calling people CUNTs, calling their parents. I say calling there, I was sat in the crowd, so he's calling us CUNTs, calling our parents CUNTs, and all our family and friends CUNTs. Now, if you've not come across Dan before, it's quite disturbing, but when you've seen his material, you get used to it, and you see past the theatric. Well, I wouldn't call it theatrics, but the delivery, you see past it, and you read between the lines, and you take a look at his message and what he's trying to do and what he's trying to teach. So you don't mind it too much. But having said that, when somebody sat on stage swearing and ridiculing you, you take the message seriously. I was sat there, the people around me were sat there, and kind of embarrassed, because obviously there's a bit of truth to what he says, although you might not agree with everything he says. But what really got me was the reaction of certain members of the crowd, and I say certain, there's quite a few members. Like when this guy came out shouting and screaming and swearing, these guys were like, yeah, oh, wicked. They were actually enjoying being ridiculed. They were enjoying Dan Pena called them CUNTs and called their family CUNTs. Like literally every time the guy swore or insulted the audience, they were like, yeah, wicked, awesome. And it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like, what kind of Sado freaking bullshit do you have to be going through to take joy out of somebody ridiculing and insulting you. And that's why I say Dan Pena has failed, because he's got a serious message. He's trying to accomplish something quite serious, trying to drag, in his own way, humanity out of the slump that they're in, and to turn things around. But instead of people taking his message seriously and taking him seriously, they've turned it into a freaking pantomime. Like, I literally thought I was sat in a pantomime. The big bad character comes out and the crowd jeers and boos and whatnot. And, I found it to be the Dan Pena segment was a waste of time. And it was disappointing, more so to do with the crowd. And I think this is probably why Dan himself says there's no hope and the world is effed up with no going or no coming back. Now, other people might disagree with that, which is fine, but Dan himself sets bodacious goals. I think what he set out to do, and although he's helped a lot of people and a lot of people have become phenomenally successful because of him and his teachings, what he set out to do and what he's now become, which whether he wants to admit it himself or whether other people want to accept it or not, he's become a comedy. It's a comedy show. That event wasn't, or his segment specifically wasn't about learning, it wasn't about progressing, it was there for pure comedy value and entertainment, which is why it was disappointing for me. But it got worse because there was this short question and answer session at the end. It wasn't really a question and answer session because I'm about to tell you what happened. So while Dan Pena was giving his speech earlier on, he mentioned about how people send him gifts, that he receives so many gifts from so many different people and he doesn't think much of it, and that he would never himself, he's never sent a gift to anyone because it's a suck up kissy thing, snowflake kind of thing to do. He said that in his harsh way of saying things. So literally the point that he was trying to make is sending gifts is a ridiculous thing to do. He would never do it, but he gets lots of gifts and he doesn't really care about the gifts that he gets. So the first guy stands up to give the question, and what does he do? Sucky sucky kissy kissy, thank you, I'm this, blah blah blah. And then he says, oh, I've made this frog for you, like I've got this gift for you, it's a frog, like I want to give it to you. And he comes on stage and he gives him the frog, and I'm like, dude, the guy has just sat on stage saying he gives no shits about gifts and doesn't respect people who give gifts, and the first thing that you do is give him a gift. Oh my god, like honestly, if there ever was a time for Dan Pena to say CUNT, what the hell are you doing, that was it. But he didn't do that. He took the gift quite graciously and thanked the guy. And then it got worse because the second guy gets up with his question, and if I try to recall it to the best of my knowledge, it was something like, in your QLA seminar, which is Dan Pena's coaching program, in your QLA seminar you take away gym privileges, and I, as someone I used to weigh this much and I took this training and I did that training and now I've lost this much pound and now blah 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 blah, and I just want your thoughts. I was like, what? Not a question, doesn't even make sense. What the hell are you talking about? Like literally what the guy really wanted was some attention. He was me, I've done this, I've done that, me, give me some attention, give me some validation, give me some focus. But that's not going to cut it, so I need to somehow link it and make it relevant. So I'm going to talk about your seminar gym privileges, and I just want your thoughts. Like, dude, you do not want his thoughts. You do not want Dan Pena's thoughts. You want Dan Pena's attention. And you just want to get some kind of ego satisfaction about what you've done. Like, honestly, it was such a disappointing ordeal all around the Dan Pena section. Having said that, the guy, he does teach some phenomenal stuff. If you see past the swearing and the shouting, it's an important message, and a lot more people do need to take it on board, and a lot more people do need to take action. But that's my rant done for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed actually delivering this rant, and I will be back to deliver more videos another time. Take care. Bye bye.